Now more than ever before, you are tasked with speaking the truth. We have learned to become bilingual in our society. Who knows what I'm talking about? Black people are bilingual. Not that we speak two languages. That is the way we are with our people and then the way we are with the broader society. That's what I'm speaking of. It's called code switching. This ability to turn on and turn off so that we can adapt in a system that has designed itself to suppress our authentic nature. Don't be too much of yourself. And we've learned how to do this, and we've survived. But it's time to get some more psychological and spiritual elbow space in this moment of truth, in this breaking free, and be your 100% authentic self. Do not withhold speaking your truth in all places and spaces at all times. I'm not inviting you to be mean. I'm not inviting you to be rude and arrogant and any of the qualities that would take you out of your true character and your true nature. But in this moment, fear not to speak the truth. Unloose your tongue so that we may be free. Truth is the sword that we use to bring forth freedom. Know the truth. Speak your truth. Beloveds of our white brothers and sisters at this particular time, hear the truth. Hear the truth. It is not an assault on you for you to hear an inconvenient truth. It's not an assault on you. In fact, it speaks well of you that you are open and receptive to hear a truth, because in that moment of openness, in that moment of possibility, then we start taking this solo and we get a duet. And then we move from a duet to a trio. And then we move from a trio to a madrigal. And then we move from a madrigal to a chorus calling out for freedom. Let's get to the place where our voices are raised together. This is what James Weldon Johnson was saying. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that our dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. This is the invitation. But we must be able to speak the truth and hear the truth, resonate together with the truth, sing the truth, and start to see the walls of oppression come tumbling down. Our voices united. Our voices united in truth. So white brothers and sisters, beloved, hear the truth, receive the truth, then join with the truth. Make it your business to echo the truth wherever you are. There are individuals who look like me who are having the hardest time imaginable right now. I cannot tell you how difficult this moment is for us. It is hard, it is difficult, because we are witnessing this repeated pattern. And it may be difficult for you to hear. We don't want you to be sorry. This is not be sorry. I want you to be fully human. I want you to thirst and long for our collective freedom. I want you to care beyond your neighborhood of concern and grow and join with the beloved community. When we do this, then we're moving beyond a paradigm. We're moving beyond the paradigm of I and mine to ours and we. When we start to hear the truth and speak the truth and act in the truth, our neighborhood of concern becomes a community. And we're not content with making the world a better place. We throw away that old paradigm. That old paradigm of making the world a better place. I'll just make it a better place. But ultimately, that's rooted in a sense of self. What makes it better for me? It's subjective. It's always subjective. And so there's not as much work as I think there is when I'm making it a better place. Adolf Hitler was looking to make the world a better place by eliminating our Jewish relatives in gas chambers. So what do we want to do? We want to co-create a world that works for all. That works for all. Co-create a world that works for all. This is very different than making it a better place, because if I'm building something that works for all, I may have to get outside of what I see as being better to what we see as being working for all. What does it take? It takes work, and it takes all. It takes work, and it takes all. All of us must do the work. All of us must do the work. You don't have to feel sorry for me. Just do the work. Do the work to educate yourself about issues of our suffering and oppression, so that you can enter into dialogue with us and enter into dialogue with your white brothers and sisters and our white relatives. You can enter into dialogue with them grounded in some truth, so that you're not just speaking emotionally, but you're speaking from your recognition of history and truth, so that it leads you to making change grounded in a shared understanding of the problem. When we know the truth, we name it. What needs to happen across the land? What needs to happen across the land? What needs to happen across the land is that every law enforcement agency must begin once and for all to reevaluate its practices to not hiring known affiliates of white supremacist organizations. And we want them to say that out loud. I want you to help demand that our law enforcement agencies are not hiring known affiliates of white supremacist organizations. Why is that important? Why is that important? It is important because we know that white supremacist organizations in this country are chiefly responsible for the acts of domestic terrorism that takes place in our time. We know this. And so what can you do? You can begin to call on leadership to demand that we name the problem for what it is, and then begin to hold police agencies accountable for their hiring practices of individuals with known affiliations to white supremacy. Why? Because this ideology is one of terror. This ideology is one rooted in separation. This ideology is one that is an obstruction to the freedom that we are calling forth. And I can go on and on about the myriad of ways in which we can know the truth, hear the truth, speak the truth, walk the truth, live it like you've never lived it before, beloveds. Live it like you've never lived it before. Pull on the courage of those of our ancestors, black and white. Let me just pause on our white ancestors and brothers and sisters for a moment, because there's a legacy among our white ancestry that has somewhere been buried and covered over and left behind. The ancestry that I speak of is that part of your ancestry that is abolitionist. There is a part of your ancestry that is abolitionist, that has always been there to deconstruct the construction of systems of oppression, right alongside. And somewhere along the way there, that came to a visible halt. Somewhere that legacy disappeared. But that's okay. It's still a part of your legacy. And you can find a way to identify with that part of your legacy, as our sister Derica Blackman tells us. You can find a way to tap into that part of your legacy in this moment. Learn the history of those abolitionists from within this country that are part of your legacy, that were instrumental in the co-creation of the Underground Railroad and such great movements. Those that bled and died alongside with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the creation of the civil rights movement. You know what I'm talking about. Find them, align yourself with them, because they were on to this conversation of co-creating a world that works for all. You can come out of the shadows of shame and come out of the shadows of guilt. You can come out of all that and step right into a league. Educate yourself, and then pick up that mantle and find your way into this race alongside us who are also in this race, pursuing a long delayed and denied freedom for us all. You can handle the truth. The question is, will you? Will you handle the truth? And the truth is that you are one with God, one with all people, one with all life. And you are here at this particular time to be a force for good in the world.